Hello. So today I'm going to just quickly talk about an old piece, and it's not so old. I didn't sign for it, but it's fairly old. It was done in 1997, so it's over a quarter of a century old, if you can believe that. And you can tell it's old because you see the paper, because it's from a newspaper. This source material, because it's where I was getting some of my early material from some advert. It's yellowing a bit, and as you can see, I used sellotape on the back to tape back where it folded over, but luckily it was print, even though it's newspaper, it was actually printed on pretty good quality paper, so that sellotape has not bled through, because I hadn't learnt that mistake, that lesson yet. But so I got very lucky with that one, because I am actually really fond of this piece, even though I can't give any real proper explanation for the meaning behind it. It just looked, it just uh, pure uh, um, by pure luck, the two elements fit together. So it was a case of I was looking through things, and I saw that picture, the picture of the shoe, and this, it may have even been in the same paper, but this picture of people on the roller coaster, and they just, it just was just pure good luck that they were within sight of each other, or they came across each other, because I think this one fits in very well. The only real downer I have is maybe is the fact that, because obviously it was from a photograph, you probably cut off there, so I wish I'd actually cut through here a bit more now. This, if you look at the shape of the back, maybe I had something else that I'd used before, and this just fit in here. So if I could have gone back and done it again, I would have tried to have something like that fit in there. But it fits. I think it still works well, and it's just disappearing into the nothingness. So, but I have no title for this other than sometimes I call it Shoecoaster, and that's probably why it doesn't have any kind of a meaning. It's not meant to have any meaning. It's just a weird, surreal, silly piece that I have had comments on. A comment on when a woman saw this. Yeah, sometimes it does feel a bit like getting in, going in high heels. So anybody who's walked in heels will probably know, especially at first, some of them will feel like a roller coaster ride. So, but I honestly, that was not my meaning when I actually made it. It was just, I was early on, and I was just seeing what fit, and this hilariously fit together. So, and I've used this in various things. I've shown this one off quite well. Or as you can see, the paper's coming away a bit there, but it still holds together well. And this is before I'd cut things out neatly, so that's just cut off there like that. Now if I use it, I will just scan it in, and maybe I'll just use it as this, and you've got the yellowed background. But if I really wanted to, I could just airbrush or cut out digitally everything here and here, and use it against and keep the transparent background, because that's sometimes how I do these things with for t-shirts and stuff. And I think this one would work quite well with that. It would certainly work quite well with something like a postcard. So that might be a reason why I might cut all that out. Or in the case of a postcard where it's going to be the same, I would just like scan it in, and I would extend. It'd be about that shape. I'd just extend this colour of the background, and I'd clone bits here. So if I tried to like just copy the colour here, for instance, and then try to fill in there, they might not work as well, because the colour here will probably very subtly different from the colour there. So this is why I clone areas, and I can blend them in. So that's a little Photoshop tip. And so I don't know how that would work in things like ones like Canva and Krita. I'm gonna have to learn about that at some point, because it would be handy to have like a free version, free equivalent to Photoshop. But this is strictly for my analog days. I didn't even have that computer to do my fanzine then. Back then, I just photocopied the images, and all the text that I typed. I typed it all up, and if say it was like even say if it was like an A4 piece of paper that's A4 and folded in half like an A5 zine. What I would do is I would make the page up like here, type it there, and then I shrink it down half, so half size, so the print isn't too big. I won't do any less than that because then the print would be too small. But those are the old days of how I used to, and I used to then cut them out and lay them out. So I'd have that on a page, maybe on a page there like that, and text there, and then shrink it down. So with it being photocopied, obviously the picture quality would degrade quite considerably. But that's underground zines for you, and that was my the beginning of my being able to put out my artwork, because galleries, especially near where I live, aren't particularly friendly or interested in collage, and I just didn't want to constantly go through the rat race of applying and being rejected, or if I like rented gallery space myself, which you could do, of nobody being interested. So it was putting out my own zines, whether they were free or sold, was it, and then until the internet came along. So that was what things were like these days. And I'm still happy to do analog collage, and this is one that I've actually done very well considering how early it is. So if you look how it's cut, I think I spent a fairly decent amount of time on this one. I would have been using I don't know if I'd be using knives like this by this point. Maybe I'd moved on to scalpels by that point. But before then, I was actually using snap-off blades. So you can't. They're good enough. They're sharp enough, and you can just like snap off and the blades are about that thick, that wide, and you can snap it off as it got more blunt and just kept on going down the blade. Trouble is, it's difficult to see what you're doing as well. So for something like this, it's at a point, so you've got a bit more of a being able to see what you're doing. This is why I like the scalpels. So anyway, back to this piece. I'm very happy with it. It gives me joy to look at it, so that's always a good thing, especially because sometimes as you grow you think, well, why did I do that? This is not one of those pieces. This is an absolute, it's as fun to me today as the day that I made it. So let me know what you think of it, if you like it. As always, like, share and subscribe. It's a good way of helping me for free. If you have a little bit to spare, I have a Patreon account, which can be found, the link for which can be found in my link tree and also in the description. Both of those are found in the description. And also somewhere along here there may be a reward button, I think it's called, or something like that, where you click on, and it's you can give £2, you can give £5, whatever. You can set the amount if you want. And so if you've got a little change to spare, that helps me out. If not, like I said, help me for free by liking, sharing, subscribing, telling your friends, and I shall speak to you soon. Thank you.